Hello everybody. So today I'm doing a DAF song on the synth with the Play Plus as the drum machine. So I have three synth sounds. It's multi-timbral and multi-sequence on here. But I'm going to start out with the init patch and enter the sequence. And then I'll create more of an analog sounding patch. So the first thing I'm going to do is to change this init patch. It has a saw wave. I'm going to change that to a square wave. But you can adjust the pulse width. And so I'm going to set that on a -5. I'm setting the mix over to all the way to the left. So I'm just using a single pulse wave. By changing the width of it a little bit, you can get different sounds out of the pulse wave. But there are a couple things we realized after all synths went digital, and that is that we were missing something there, and it was the continuously variable nature of analog. And so I can add some of that back in here using the mod. So I'm going to go Shift Seek button. And there are the mods. So I'm going to run LFO1 to the pitch. And I'm also running LFO1 to the filter cutoff. And this will allow them to jump around if I have the random LFO. So there's LFO1. I've got two LFOs. By continuously hitting that, I can switch back and forth. But there's LFO1, it's the sample and hold LFO. Now, a lot of synths, the sample and hold LFO doesn't work right because it's not behaving like the old analog sample and hold where it would sample noise, and that means that you get a different pitch every time you hit the key. Well, the sample and hold on the synth works correctly. It works like the old one did, the old modular one, because you can make it so that every time you hit a key, you get a different pitch. Every time you hit a key, you get a different filter out. So if I go to mod here, I can do it in the extreme to show you what I mean. So there I've got quite a bit of pitch jump at 70%, 0.7%. But let me go extreme with it here. So that's working like an old analog sample and hold where it would sample noise and give you a different voltage every single time. Really gives it that analog feel. I can do the same thing with the filter. It's now at 15.9%, but let's put that way up. You can hear the filter really jumping around and short-circuiting and stuff. You can go really extreme if you want to. So now I've got a sound that is much closer to the original bass sound. Then I put that exact same sequence on this patch. It's kind of a vibe sound, and with this new synth that's contained in the synth, we have the PMD synth, and that allows you to make these vibe type of sounds. You can see there's a little tuning fork there and a little piece of metal. So it allows you to make mallet and vibe sounds. And that kind of fades in the original track. And you can do that using the mixer. So you can turn the volume of it down, and you can lock both of those in, and then you can just bring it up. And then finally, I had the brass sound. So I made a sound for the Polyend Synth that is based on "Lone Birds Don't Fly This High." And I use that as a starting point because that's kind of a brassy sound. And then I put the reverb on there in the mixer. So by continually hitting the mixer page, you get to the sends, and there's where I sent the reverb. Now the beat was very simple. Using just a 3.5 millimeter stereo cable out of this and into the synth, you can sync the two. You don't need any special cables to do that. You can use the included MIDI cable if you want to, but if you just want to do sync, you can do it by just using a 3.5 millimeter stereo cable. Now there's something pretty cool happening here with this beat. So actually there are only 16 steps here, but you heard that crash there. It only happens every fourth time. So I'm actually effectively extending this out a lot farther. Now you can extend this out a long way and do multiple different patterns because this has a song mode on it. But just to do it very simply, I just took the crash here and I used chance. So the chance, skip 3, play 1. So it's going to play through 3 times and then it'll plays the crash. And there's all kinds of different chance things that you can put in there. Now I have made a little scene to perform the DAF song so that you can just hit these and start performing it. And I will put that on my Patreon, as well as the 3 patches will be on there. And this was a fun little cover of DAF. And if you enjoyed this, I hope you'll subscribe and hit the bell for all. And I'll see you in the next video.